Welcome back to Your Health television program. I am Dr. Lisa Hernandez, and today we've been speaking about breastfeeding and its benefits for the mother, the infant, the family, and a bit about the community. But we haven't talked about what really impacts a mother's ability to initiate and sustain breastfeeding. There are many factors that contribute to that, and that includes the community in which she lives, businesses, and industry. The extent of which those entities support or discourage breastfeeding really is crucial to the success of breastfeeding for a mom. My next two guests will discuss breastfeeding and businesses. First, Jazmin Meza. She received her Bachelor's of Arts degree just this May in Collaborative Health and Human Services with a dual concentration in social work and community health from the California State University, Monterey Bay, CSUMB. She is an intern in the breastfeeding program in the Monterey County WIC program. She is joined by Daniel Shim. He owns Champion Sports in Salinas. He has owned his business for over 6 years, and Jazmin has been working with Daniel to make Daniel's business a breastfeeding-friendly place for both his employees as well as his patrons. Thank you both for joining me today. I appreciate it. So first I'll ask Daniel a question. What do you believe do you think business owners are aware of the laws related to breastfeeding?
I believe that business owners are aware of laws to breastfeeding. However, I do not believe that business owners are aware of what entails in the laws of breastfeeding. Even I was not fully aware of all the laws to breastfeeding until Jazmin and Janet both came to me about partaking in being a breast-friendly business. Also, on top of that, I actually have an employee who recently gave birth less than a year ago. So she is also breastfeeding while working with me.
So basically you learned kind of on the job. It wasn't something that you really experienced until you had the interaction with Jazmin and Janet, and as well as having to work through supporting your employee.
Correct. As I said, the only kind of awareness I've ever gotten before was news clips of something dramatic, of a mother being rejected or not allowed to do breastfeeding. Other than that, there were no other exposures to what entails in the laws of breastfeeding. I've even had, not too long ago, I had a recent situation where a mother and her daughter actually were customers of mine, came to my business while my employee was actually breastfeeding inside one of the dressing room. And I was trying to run both businesses and trying to be polite, and the two ladies was giving me a hard time and finally interrupted me and said, where's your employee? You should be hiring. And that's when I just interrupted and kindly had to give them a little lecture about breastfeeding and explain to them that I also had an employee who was breastfeeding right now. So they kind of felt a little bit embarrassed about it, but it also showed to me not just business owners, but even the general public is not fully aware of all the laws to the breastfeeding.
So it sounds like you've become an advocate for breastfeeding. What other changes have you made to your business in the last year to be more breastfeeding friendly?
Well, I'm trying to be, as I said, I've tried to work with Jazmin and Janet by also promoting breastfeeding by having these pamphlets and stickers that are provided by Jazmin and have it posted throughout the business area so that business owners, or not business owners, even customers are aware of that we promote breastfeeding. I've had a couple customers also have asked, what does this mean? And I've explained it to them, so they were kind of pleased to see that kind of service available for them. So those are the things I've done to promote it. We've also have private stalls where customers or even just the general public who doesn't feel comfortable breastfeeding in the public have their own private space to do so.
Yeah, because your business is a family business. You are in a place where whole families can come in, and that includes families with young children and babies.
Absolutely. Inside the business, commercial property where I'm at, there's over 30 businesses inside there.
Wow.
So weekends, we have many customers, especially our local residents, who do their regular activities on Sundays or weekends, and so it gets pretty popular out there.
So besides increasing awareness about breastfeeding, why else do you think it's important for you as a business owner to promote a breastfeeding-friendly environment?
Well, as stated before, breastfeeding has many benefits, both health-wise as well as many other benefits. So promoting it on a business sector also helps promote it for the general public. I think each and every one of us have to do our part in trying to promote breastfeeding and the advantages of healthier living because of breastfeeding. One of the things that I think is advantageous is that we're all working together to try and promote it, and I know we've discussed of trying to make Salinas an entire city that promotes breastfeeding, which will be absolutely fantastic.
You're right. What we're trying to do is make it a new norm. So it's totally expected and welcome and supported. So that is why, doing your part really helps. Well, you talked a little bit about the project that kind of helped raise your awareness. So I'm going to put Jazmin on the hot seat for a second. And I know that this was part of your capstone project at CSUMB that you started to target business owners to become more aware of breastfeeding and be breastfeeding friendly. Can you tell me a little bit more about the project?
Of course, I'd love to tell you about my project. So as a WIC intern, I collaborated with the Salinas Business Unit Association, also known as Suba, to find ways to create breastfeeding friendly environments at work, so at their businesses. One of the things that we did is that we handed educational brochures, as Danielle mentioned, to the business owners, and I'm going to give you one. And what the brochure is that inside the brochure there's the law. It's in English and in Spanish because a lot of the local business owners, their primary language is Spanish. And an interesting fact was that it was translated in Spanish by Sarah, who was in our last segment, and then it was sent to a paralegal for approval, and it was sent to the state. So it's in the California Public Health website. The brochure, besides mentioning the law, it mentions the benefits to their businesses, and it also gives some ideas of how to become breastfeeding friendly. Another thing that we did is that we created a breastfeeding friendly decal for the businesses to post in their windows to show the community of Salinas their support, and this is it. So what we did is that we used the International Breastfeeding Friendly symbol. And
that's
then
this one?
That is the blue part. And then we added the WIC logo and the Suba logo. So basically businesses put it up in their businesses. They're letting their customers know that they're welcome to breastfeed there, that they're not going to get any negative attitudes, that if they ask for a space, they could be accommodated. And it's also for their current and their future employees as well. And the goal of this project was to basically raise awareness about the benefits of breastfeeding and raise attitudes and also raise the lactation accommodation in the workplace.
So what did you find when you went to Suba? When you started speaking to the business owners, what kind of questions did they have? What were their responses? Did they welcome you with open arms? And did you have advocates like Daniel?
Well, what I found was that business owners are willing to collaborate with you and your project as long as you educate them first. You give them the material so they're aware of what the project's about. For business owners, you also want to mention what the benefits are for them. They want to know what they gain from the project, and if it's something that's going to help their clients, it's going to help their customers, and it's something that's positive for the community. I found that they were really interested in learning, and it's amazing that a lot of these businesses, even though they're run by men, they still wanted to get into the program. They still wanted to become breastfeeding friendly businesses. Yeah, a lot of them have questions on what is this about, what do I have to do, concerns about the laws and things like that.
Well, I think one of the ways to look at it is something that Daniel mentioned, which is as part of healthy living. And I think that's something that we can all really understand and believe in and support. So it's really nice to hear that from you, Daniel. And
it was nice to see that there was a lot of positive feedback. There was nobody we target 40 businesses, and no one in the 40 businesses rejected the idea. Nobody refused to participate. Nobody gave me negative attitudes. So that was very positive.
So do we have 40 businesses participating in some level then?
Yes, we do. They're all located in Salinas right now because we were concentrating in Salinas, more specifically in the 93905 area. We have from bakeries, we have like restaurants, we have a lot of clothing stores. We have the swap meet. I mentioned there's 30 businesses in there.
Okay.
And we have beauty salons as well. So it's different types of businesses participating.
And where can they get this nifty sticker and the pamphlet? I know you mentioned that the pamphlet's on the California Department of Public Health's website.
The information is, they could get it at our WIC office in Salinas, and we're located at 632 East Alisal Street. If they have any questions, they could always call us at WIC as well. And the phone number, it's area code 831-796-2862.
Repeat that again, Jazmin.
It's area code 831-796-2862. That's for my line, and then for the breastfeeding coordinator line, it would be 796-2868.
And I believe we have the number for the coordinator, that's Janet's line, but that was also a number that they can use to get this information. So
Correct.
I think that's really great to have. I really like these stickers. Now, Janet mentioned the laws in the previous segment, and we talked a little bit about that. What did business owners know about the law? Were they much like Daniel, that knew that there was a law, but they didn't really know how it affected them?
Well, actually, a part of the project was to conduct a pre-survey, so we know the knowledge about the owners. We gather a group of Suba members, and we gave them a pre and post survey. And one of the questions in the pre-survey was for them to, in a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, to rate their knowledge. And when I did the quantitative data analysis, it came up that 60% of them had rated their knowledge at level 1, meaning that they had no knowledge at all.
Wow.
And then 30 of them rated at 3 and 4, and only 1 business rated at level 10. When I went out there and did the outreach, about 95% of them didn't know that clients had the right to breastfeed in public, and nonetheless, they didn't know that they could accommodate an employee. So Daniel was one of the ones who one of the few who really knew that there was a law, but most of our owners didn't know that laws existed to protect women.
So have you done the post survey yet, or is that going to happen later on?
We've done part of the post survey because we want to continue. For my capstone, we only had a limited amount of time, but we want to continue this project. We want to expand for more businesses in Salinas. Like you mentioned, we hopefully want Salinas to be a breastfeeding friendly city, and we would add more to that.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. It would be good for Salinas to lead the way on that, and maybe after this program you'll hear the phone ringing and get more businesses involved in that. Again, give us those numbers for contacts, both your number to get the information as well as Janet's, if you could.
So my line is area code 831-796-2862. And that's my direct phone line. And then I also have the WIC, the main office, which is area code 831-796-2888.
Well, thank you both very much, Daniel and Jazmin. I appreciate hearing about this, and I hope to see more of these stickers around Salinas and in the rest of Monterey County. We've learned a lot about breastfeeding, how it benefits both mom, baby, the family, the community, and why it's important that all segments of the community support breastfeeding. We know, we've heard it from the last segment, that our business owners and the community has to support it in order for moms to be successful. thank you for tuning in today. I am Dr. Lisa Hernandez, and this is your health television program.